which prevent them from doing so. Among them are postpartum depression, previous surgery, long-term medication prescriptions, among others. Akosia Pokua Dompre, a midwifery officer at Jamestown Maternity Home, speaks on the importance of breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding is very important first to the mother, both mother and baby. When a baby is delivered, within 30 minutes, baby needs to be breastfed. So when baby is breastfed, it helps to prevent PPH in the mother, that's from the mother. And then with the baby, first it helps in bonding. Mother and then baby, helps to bond mother and then the baby. And then secondly, it helps to prevent infections like ear infection, that is the baby. And then it also prevents other diseases like cancer, the baby. God has already prepared it, which is very good and it's natural, since we like natural things. So bringing in artificial things might cause other problems to the baby.
She further advised lactating mothers to always breastfeed in their comfort zones and pleaded with government and other agencies to help create comfortable public spaces to make breastfeeding easy for mothers.
With the public breastfeeding, especially with our market women and those who are doing their work, they can please do the exclusive breastfeeding. They find themselves anywhere they find it, they can sit in a corner and breastfeed and then continue with their trading.
Samuel Nkrumah Asamoah, an infection prevention control conductor at the Children's Hospital in Accra, believes practicing personal hygiene as mothers will save babies from getting infections.
When you are breastfeeding your child, and for instance, your child soils him or herself and you are changing the diaper, when you remove the pampers or the diaper, you need to perform hand hygiene. By performing hand hygiene, it's either washing your hand with soap under running water. Because if you wash your hand with soap under running water and you have any microorganism or any germs on your hand, you will not transfer it onto the breast by giving it to your baby.
Some Ghanaians also shared their thoughts on breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding is important because when you breastfeed your child, it helps the child to grow very well, and it helps the child's immune system to grow well.
I would advise my wife to breastfeed, basically because of the nutritional values the baby would benefit from.
It's very, very important because the nurses have been educating us that from first day to 6 months, we should give them breast without food or water for 6 months because it helps them a lot.
To realize essential health and economic benefits, policymakers must move quickly to adopt, strengthen, and implement policies that will help all breastfeeding mothers according to World Health Organization's recommended guidelines. Zoe Anita Ode, Metro News, Accra.
We are joined in the studio by Rosset Intriwa-Boache. She's a PRO for the National Association of Registered Midwives of Ghana, and also Rebecca Osei-Bunsu, who is the chairperson of the Eastern Regional Chapter of the National Association of the Registered Midwives of Ghana. Rosetta and Rebecca, thank you for joining me. Now, Rosetta, tell me, what are some of the benefits of breastfeeding?
Okay. And when it comes to the benefits of breastfeeding, in the first 30 minutes after birth, if breastfeeding is initiated, it actually goes a long way to prevent PPH or postpartum hemorrhage, or it prevents the mother from bleeding excessively after birth. So it's very important because around that time, there is evolution of the uterus or the womb is going to, it shrinks whilst baby starts suckling. The fundus, or there's something we look out for. That is the uterus inside. We see it from the abdomen of the woman. And there is a measurement that we are supposed to take after you have given birth. So we are looking out for something. So if that doesn't happen with the number or the centimeters we are looking for, then there is a problem. So immediately after birth, within the first 30 minutes, we initiate breastfeeding to minimize excessive bleeding and also to help in evolution of the uterus. And then also it creates bonding between the mother and the baby. So as the baby has been born, sometimes some babies actually need some warmth from their mothers, and then it promotes their health instantly after they have been born. So immediately after they have been born, the bonding also creates some kind of warmth for the baby right after birth. So then after the hospital, and then going to the house and going forward with breastfeeding, it actually reduces your child's risk of getting neonatal infections and sudden death in infants. So breastfeeding actually does a lot of that. And then there is lactating amenorrhea. In fact, if you do breastfeeding well, there is something that we call lactating amenorrhea, where you are breastfeeding and it suppresses your egg. Because of that, they don't mature, and it's a form of family planning method naturally. So when that also happens, it's a plus, or it's a positive side of breastfeeding, where you actually don't go and introduce any artificial hormones or chemicals into your system in the form of family planning. But then breast milk, because you are breastfeeding, you actually get to experience family planning in that manner.
Okay, when you were talking, you said after 30 minutes of birth, the mother is supposed to start breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Some mothers do not produce milk right after birth. In that kind of situation, what do you suggest?
Okay, so right after birth, God has made it in such a way that the more that the baby suckle, that is when the breast production actually comes in. So if baby is not put to breast well or attached well, and the suckling reflexes doesn't go on well, then it means that breast production actually will go down. And that is where we have situations like that, whereby baby has been born and then breast milk is not coming because maybe mother didn't attach baby to breast well, or the suckling reflexes were, in fact, maybe she was tired in and out and didn't do it well. Okay. So it's actually good that you, as much as you are tired, you find your way out of breastfeeding the baby approximately 30 minutes after birth. And that suckling reflexes actually helps in producing the breast milk.
Okay, Rebecca, tell me, she kept mentioning if baby is attached well to the breast. Tell me, what is the proper way of breastfeeding?
Oh, okay, we have so many ways according to the mother's health. Most of the time after delivery, you need to check the mother's condition. It's either in upright position, the mother can be lying down and baby can be beside her. Then you consider that when the mother is actually well after delivery, there are sometimes they are exhausted, sometimes so there are some who are very well after delivery. That will you position them in the upright position. Then the baby will be on her lap, in the palm, the butt in the palm. She really has to position the baby closer to her belly. The belly of the baby has to touch the woman's belly, so that mostly we make sure that the head of the baby is here in the mother's arm. So most of the time we advise the mothers to make sure that the baby doesn't suckle only on the nipple, and you make sure the whole black area of the breast enters the baby's mouth. That way you see that the attachment is proper. Mostly when you position baby on time, you see, during pregnancy, we have pregnancy hormones. So when you start with the breastfeeding, the pregnancy hormones reduces, so that the breastfeeding and the breast milk hormones comes into place, which is the prolactin. That is why we encourage mothers to start the breastfeeding early, so that your pituitary glands will release the prolactin to suppress the estrogen levels, so that the breastfeeding will start.
There has been talks of how nutritious the first milk is to the baby.
Yeah.
When do we say this is the first milk? How long can we say this is the first milk? Or is it after the 30 minutes you don't breastfeed and then you lose the first milk?
Oh no, actually most of the time if you pay attention to the first milk, it's not the white milk that we see most of the time the mothers expressing. Mostly the first milk is yellowish. So at first they usually make sure they spill those ones out, but scientifically we've come to know that that is even the nutritious part of the breast milk. So we encourage them to give every part of the breast milk to the baby, and it's really yellowish. So we advise mothers that it's not any myth, there's nothing wrong with the breast milk.
So with the first milk, can it last for say a month?
No. It's mostly approximately maybe 24 to 48 hours.
There are situations that after giving birth the mother is very exhausted, asleep, and then the milk spills off. Is that it for the baby?
No, actually no, that's not it. No. You see, when you start breastfeeding after delivery, the milk doesn't produce like in that frequency like we see them when they are home. You see, now that lactation is establishing. So it's mostly not in that spilled form. It comes in a gradual process. It's hardly for you to see a newly mother right from the labor ward spilling blood like we see, breast milk like we see.
So Rosetta, tell me, what's the theme for this year's celebration?
This year's theme, 2021, is a shared responsibility. So a shared responsibility in the aspect that we are looking out for support for all lactating mothers. So let's say if you are a husband, you have a role to play as a husband to your wife when she's lactating. Sometimes some of the babies actually would always eat in the night, throughout the night. And then mother can pump out breast milk, and you, father, can also play the role of feeding the baby. So we are looking at an aspect whereby the society, the family, and the support people will actually pay a responsibility when it comes to breastfeeding or lactating mothers. Because when you are lactating and you are stressed, in fact, it suppresses the prolactin hormones, and then breastfeeding actually goes down, the breast production actually goes down. So we encourage that we all take it as a responsibility that when we see that this woman is lactating and she needs a helping hand, we show it when she needs it. And then stakeholders actually come in, whereby midwives and other people, we need support people to also come in, and the nation, everybody is inclusive. It's not actually just the family, but wherever you think you can come in to support, then you pay attention to that.
Thank you
and then
very
share a
much.
responsibility.
Thank you very much for joining me in the studio, Rosetta and Rebecca. Thank you. Now to our next story. The Minority Caucus in Parliament has called for the removal of the Health Minister over the illegality surrounding the Sputnik V vaccine agreement. According to the minority, the findings of the ad hoc committee's probing of the Sputnik V vaccine agreement indicates that the minister blatantly disregarded Ghana's law and must be sanctioned.
The 9-member committee, tasked by Parliament to probe into the illegality surrounding the Sputnik V vaccine, were to present their report to Parliament before Parliament goes on recess. What started as a presentation of the report, however, turned into a huge argument when the chairman of the committee, Alexander Fenyomakin, indicated to the House the report was not ready due to some concerns raised by the minority members on the committee.
I have signed a report. When it was due for distribution, an objection was raised. And to be fair, we have decided to hold back. Yesterday, we slaved on it up to 10 o'clock. And this morning, the understanding was that all that was to be done was done. And about to sign, a member raised a concern again. So we are here to sit because the majority leader has been involved in the matter. So we are here to sit. Nobody has placed this on the back burner. With respect,
all the issues have been resolved. And even the few concerns that was seen, it was mentioned to majority in the morning and has been resolved. He should go and bring the report. Why are you keeping the report? What is it indeed that you are hiding there? You are keeping the report. Bring it. Bring the report because it's been long overdue with you. You finished hearing the matter in about just 1 week. And it's taking you more than 3 weeks to report to the House. You think that is fair to the House? Please, whatever the issue, bring it to the floor.
I am rather obliging them so that they are very concerned. Mr. Speaker, I'm used to this. I'm not worried. You can do what you want to do. Mr. Speaker, I have obliged my colleague that whatever he wants to be included in the report is to so be done. I will sign. You are not ready. You keep changing your position. Then you hide behind Honorable Muntaka to cause this. I won't accept that.
After further deliberations on the matter, the chairman of the committee, who doubles as the deputy majority leader, presented the findings of the committee.
The minister, through documentary evidence, provided that to us, to the effect that all government-to-government sources for the procurement of vaccines had failed the country at the time. This issue was not contested. There was no contrary evidence to that effect. And that, Mr. Speaker, per the submission of the minister, he needed to take action. And what action did he take, Mr. Speaker? He said he had to rely on private sources to enable us get vaccines to save lives.
His presentation, which sought to defend the health minister according to the minority, was not a clear representation of the report.
All the developments were pointing to the fact that the actions and inactions of the minister were all an afterthought. Because, number one, Mr. Speaker, he signed the agreement or the contract before the AG's advice. He signed the agreement before even writing to the PPA. Mr. Speaker, again, I think that he also mentioned the fact that he relied on the executive instrument 64 and 65. Mr. Speaker, I have gone through the executive instrument 64 and 65. There is no provision in that particular document that says that when a minister is dealing with, international transactions, he should sidestep Parliament or should breach the Public Procurement Act. Nowhere. So, Mr. Speaker, on all the terms of reference, I think that the minister was in complete violation of all the issues we were looking at.
The pedigree of the minister cannot be put down. And in the circumstances, I am inclined to say that the minister may be under pressure from above. It is clear that the health minister, Kweku Agyemang-Manu, excelled and distinguished himself in unearthing several financial malpractices in Ghana public accounts when he was the chairman of Public Accounts Committee. So to say that this person entered into a contract without advice of the Attorney General, entered into a contract leading to procurement of Sputnik V vaccine, a drug for that matter, without involving Food and Drug Authority. Mr. Speaker, the 20,000 dosage of Sputnik V vaccine that has been supplied, once FDA is not involved, as to whether it is medicine or poison, it is only God that knows. Mr. Speaker, Section 40 of the Public Procurement Act is very clear that if you want to engage in single source procurement as required by Section 41, you need an approval of the board. For such an astute member of Parliament to engage in a single source procurement without recourse to the Public Procurement Authority, Mr. Speaker, is very unfathomable. For the minister to engage in an international transaction without recourse to Parliament, contrary to Article 1815 of the 1992 Constitution, to err is human, to forgive is divine, but sometimes to forgive can be diabolical.
They eventually called for the removal of the health minister, Kweku Agyemang-Manu.
We are calling for vote of no confidence on this minister. He does not fit to occupy this office, having betrayed the trust that the people of this country has mandated him with, having broken the constitution of our country, having broken the laws of our country. The Minister of Health does not fit to occupy this office. I therefore move for this amendment, and Mr. Speaker, in line with our Order 78D and 83, I beg that you put the question on this for it to be part of the report of this committee. And so
members of the majority called for the health minister to be pardoned.
The minister, when he appeared before the committee, was very consistent on the fact that he acted because he was in an emergency situation. The report captures the summary of the evidence of the health minister, and In the report at page 8 and page 9, Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I would want to read an.
After debating the report, it was time for the motion to be moved by the Speaker for a yes vote or no vote for the motion. This, however, did not happen.
Debated, however, I'm unable to put the question. I defer the question. Honorable members, I defer the question. I'm unable to put the question. That is my ruling. The question will be put at appropriate time.
The minority in Parliament was not happy with the decision of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker adjourned the sitting, but the minority held the motion was not moved because the minority at the time had the numbers to reject or accept the committee's report.
I don't want to believe that the Speaker deferred the vote because he could not see the presence of his perceived or imagined majority. Voting must be done by members present and voting. And we expected that at least the committee report would have been adopted. But probably sensing that we were in the majority at that material time, he had no option than to opt for the easy way round. If it is NDC people, they are in court when they are in breaches of the law. And when we say selective justice, some of you don't understand. The rule of law is under trial under Nana Akufo-Addo. God bless.
For Metro News, Derek Adote.
Quite an eventful day at the Parliament. We go for a short break and we'll be back with more.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with your U-turn bus needs has been made easier and convenient with SA Automobile. SA Automobile, formerly U-turn Ghana Limited, has been in the business of offering quality U-turn products and services at competitive rates. At SA Automobile, our team of expert staff, management, engineers, and mechanics professionally deal in the sale of U-turn buses, genuine spare parts, its repairs and maintenance at our highly effective workshop with remarkable speed. We also have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020-000-0831 or 054-555-7500. You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
Thank you for staying. Now to other stories. As part of efforts to increase the understanding of insurance penetration in the country, a comprehensive book on life insurance titled Practice of Life Assurance in Perspective has been launched. Launching the book, the Commissioner, Dr. Justice Yao Ofori, said it's timely.
The book, Practice of Life Assurance in Perspective, authored by Aaron Issa Anafuri, is expected to deepen the understanding of insurance penetration in the country, which has been very low. The book, which is forwarded by the Insurance Commissioner, Dr. Justice Yao Ofori, treats lots of topics such as understanding insurance principles, the nature of insurance, the legal framework of life assurance, underwriting and claims management in life assurance, among others. Former Dean of the Department of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Joshua Yendenaba Abo, reviewed the work.
With insurance penetration still being low in the country, this is quite worrying, as insurance is meant to help manage and redistribute risk, especially in developing countries where many people are vulnerable to both natural and man-made disasters. As such, the book, Practice of Life Assurance in Perspective, is a very timely one, as a book focusing on life insurance industry is long overdue.
Insurance Commissioner Dr. Joseph Yao Ofori launched the book and said it is timely.
The essence of leadership is to help people find solutions to the challenges of life. Leaders provide guidance and solutions to questions encountered in various fields of endeavor. This is what Dr. Anafuri's book does for the practice of life assurance in Ghana. I am confident that it is a good material for all life practitioners in this market and beyond.
Aaron Isa Anafuri, the author of the book Practice of Life Assurance in Perspective, said it will also serve as a material to update insurance penetration in the country.
Because insurance talks about large numbers. So you think they are paying small premium, you ask yourself, can this premium, if there's a claim, can this premium pay? But that's no, we're not looking at only your premium. We are looking at entirety, global, so life insurance is very important. But we don't put premium on it. We think about our car, our house, our shoes, our dress. But what about you yourself? If you fall today, what is going to be, the repercussions? Which we're looking at it. You can't live forever.
Now let's go to the Northern Region, where the constituency chairman of the New Patriotic Party in the Northern Region has called on all members and supporters of the party in the region to stop making public statements that threaten the success of the party in the region. The chairman's comments are in reaction to a press conference held by the concerned youth group of NPP in the Northern Region, accusing the regional Chairman Bantma Samba of actions that deem dangerous to the image of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Constituency chairman of MPP in the Northern Region, at a press conference in response to the youth group's earlier press conference, warned members of the party to desist from making statements that are detrimental to the development of the party in the near future. The chairman urged party members to always contact leadership of the party on issues of the party that they do not understand, rather than running to the media to accuse people wrongly. Yendi constituency chairman, who doubles as leader of the constituency chairman in the Northern Region, explained why it is not good to run people down without knowing what the reality is.
Before we celebrate the Salah, regional chairman from his own packet donated 50 bags of rice to each constituency, and all the chairmen received it, took it down to their various constituencies. Please, dear brothers, we are one part. Whatever grievances you have, share it with us, you will know the truth. And stop spoiling Chairman name.
He added that Chairman Samba has never done what the youth are accusing him of.
So I please beg youth in the party to stop spoiling people's name and let's focus on winning 2024. God bless all of you. Thank you. But I am giving warning or advice to all of us to leave whatever grievances we have and find out the truth than saying something which is not true. Goodbye.
On his part, chairman for Saboba constituency, Peter Jabado, was surprised how people in their party easily run down each other without trying to find out what the truth is.
Very sharp. I am feeling sharp to hear
these allegations on social medias and all that in the region. See, we are all MPP people in the northern region. And looking at northern region at large, we have different type of people in the region. And we all came together to form an MPP party at the regional, in the northern region. But if some people come out today to be talking on party issues and then sabotaging each other on social media, it doesn't look fine. So for me, I want to urge every one of us in MPP party that if there's some information, if there's something that you've heard and you don't have any knowledge in it, there's party leaders. You can go to them and find out from them.
The chairman concluded by calling on both the regional executives and the party youth groups to stop making further statements.
And back here in Accra, the Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party, Yawabian Samoa, says the NPP-led administration is not in to suppress the freedom of speech nor engage in the culture of silence purported by sections of the citizenry. He also hinted of government's commitment to ensure a violence-free election in the upcoming Asen North by-elections. He was speaking to my colleague Shadrach Odamiajari on the sidelines of the party's 29th anniversary celebrations.
The very people who are complaining are taking advantage of freedom of speech to complain. Because if really we're clamping down, you really have the space to complain. And if you did complain, you would immediately be clamped down. You would be arrested or you'd be detained without trial and all that. Nothing of that sort is happening. So the very people who are complaining about culture of silence are the ones using the instruments of speech, free movement, association, to complain. So for me, it's a dynamic of democracy. It's so important that Ghana is able to rub minds, and still the entire world who are looking at us outside our borders are seeing the peace and the camaraderie. You heard General Secretary say that in spite of the fierce partisanship, we are still making progress. You will see from the election. As for the NDC, I don't count the things they say as being. The NDC was born in propaganda. The NDC was born in violence and disorganization. Go to the antecedents, the PNDC, the AFRC, and all that. These are the antecedents of the NDC. So when the NDC is talking violence, they are preparing violence behind our back. Anytime the NDC talks something that seeks to disrupt our society, they are up to it. That is how they are. Two-faced. That is who they are. So I don't count the NDC's wolf talk and false talk as anything to go by. Let the by-election happen. We will all be witnesses. It's one constituency, so I'm sure the entire country will be there. Let's all go there and let's see how it goes. But we, the New Patriotic Party, can assure you, we're a party of rule of law. We respect the systems. We respect the judiciary. We respect each other. We respect the people of this country, the voters of this country, and we will respect their verdict in Asen North.
Now, the Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitiwo, has urged officers in the military to emulate the work ethics and attitude of General Erskine, one of Ghana's foremost Chief of Army Staffs. The Defense Minister was speaking at the final funeral rites of the late statesman.
He is a notable son of the nation and was relentless in his support for Ghana. The feat Lieutenant General Erskine attained in his career should serve as an inspiration for all of us as we each strive to play our roles to the nation that we hold dear to our hearts.
For his part, the Most Reverend Charles Gabriel Palmer Buckle admonished Ghanaians to strive for justice, peace, and peaceful coexistence.
He was inspired to live and work for the good of humanity, striving for peace and peaceful coexistence of even enemies in the Middle East, as the tribute from the United Nations mentions. At the National Reconciliation Commission, he worked very hard and conscientiously to bring about reconciliation, justice, and peace to our fellow citizens who had suffered egregiously at the hands of perpetrators of violence and injustices of many kinds from 1957 until 1992.
You are watching Newsbeat here on Metro TV with me, Etel Poplampo. Up next is business. Now, Now to our first business story, some cabbage farmers at Apentubo and Yapese in the Bosomfreho district of the Ashanti region have appealed to the government to, as a matter of urgency, fix the deplorable roads in the district. They lament that the poor nature of the road is a disincentive to their work as it threatens their livelihoods.
Bom and Yapese are predominantly farming communities in the Bosomfreho district of the Ashanti region. A farmer over here, Jonas Eduse, described cabbage as a green gold because several of them have managed to cater for their families through cabbage farming. However, they have expressed worry about the poor nature of their roads from the farm gates to the market centers, which according to them is a disincentive to their work and their harvested vegetables. They stress that the harvested vegetables sometimes go waste due to their inability to access vehicles to cut their produce to the market centers. One of the farmers, Elder John Mensah, stressed the need for government to fix the road challenges in the area and help ensure a ready market for their produce.
Ansa na omo meto no price omo maye na se unwie ni nyame anya wadoma no aboka yesre aban se kwan no de aka mfinfin no omo amaye maye ni hu se yakwan na yiyi ekwan na yiyi a adwuma de ye ne hapa ya se ne tie bia no Ghana benye bia di bi so betimi akọ ba bia mama foforo nso so anya bia di
sesi a ye fuo ni ne ba ekwan yakwan anye yakwan de anye kura se ye fuo ne ba na se ye kof ayifo no beto a nkranfo no beto a ensiota wo ma na ka be jinugu na pro na ye ka na chese ni kwa akra senka fiduru a wo sa ya adwuma.
Now, a 7-member committee has been inaugurated to ensure proper regulation of import and export of soya bean produced in the country. The Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan John Chairman, speaking with Metro News after the inauguration, said the setup of the committee will help clamp down on illegal exportation of soya bean.
Ghana is ranked 46th biggest soya bean exporter in the world, with the country's annual export of soya bean totaling $2.85 million in 2018, with Turkey serving as the top export destination. Soya bean is one of the crops under the Planting for Food and Jobs program. It forms an integral part of growth in the Ghanaian poultry industry. Meanwhile, poultry farmers for some time have had limited access to soya beans due to excessive export of the produce. This has compelled the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, to constitute a 7-member committee to ensure that the sector is properly regulated. The Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan John Chairman, has been speaking on the committee's mandate.
There's been a significant increase in the production of soya bean, which ought to have been a blessing not only to the farmers but also to the industrialists, because then they have an adequate supply of raw material for processing. Regrettably, however, the increase in production of soya bean has not been matched by the supply of the commodity to the processors, because those who process soya bean do so for the poultry industry. And so it became necessary for us to put in place some kind of regulation that would restrict and rationalize and regulate the export of soya bean.
The Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efriye Akoto, added that anyone who does not seek permit from the committee cannot export soybean from the country.
The customs will not allow you to export. You need a permit as part of your documentation before you're allowed to export. As you see that customs has a representative on the committee. So that is as simple as that. That is to ensure that there's enough for usage in Ghana.
Some committee members also lauded the two ministries for the initiative.
I think it's going to be a big relief for us, and it's going to stabilize the prices of soya for us. We always have it in times of need.
With this committee, we believe the regulation will be very good for us and then the country, the market value of our produce, we know it can be determined even before harvest.
The passage of the legislature on restriction of soybean came into force in December 2020. Alberta BCU reported.
Now, the Bank of England said it could see a modest reduction ahead in the huge support it has provided to Britain's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic and set out it could gradually tighten monetary policy. Governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, projects inflation to come back to target, that's 2% over the medium term.
We are not, obviously, happy about the fact that inflation is going up. We obviously wish it wouldn't. But we understand the reasons. We spent a lot of time looking at the reasons why it's going up. And there are there's quite a number of particular bottlenecks in the world economy. There's a world shortage of semiconductor chips. Oil prices are recovering from being very low over much of the COVID period. And those things are pushing inflation up. And we think that it's our best guess and our best assumption and forecast is that all of those things will unwind. So the very good news, I would say, in what we've seen and what we are forecasting today is that we think that unemployment will now decline from here on, and that the increase in unemployment during this huge economic shock has been much less than we and I think everybody else thought it would be.
You're watching Newsbeat with me, Etopo Plampo. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll do sports.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Welcome back now to our first sports story. President of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Benunu Mensah, says the contingent representing the country at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games have exceeded expectations considering the performances and achievements of the team in their respective events. He was, however, quick to add that a much better planning, preparation, and a little bit more exposure would have propelled Team Ghana to do enough.
A much better long-term planning and and a little bit more exposure in terms of competing with their peers, especially in Africa, and then going to a lot of international competitions. Definitely, it would have been better. But as the leader of the team here, or as the president of the Olympic Committee, I would say that I'm satisfied with at least the little success that we've been able to chalk, even though it could have been better. But everything happens for a reason. I'm sure it will be a learning or a turning point for all of us as a nation, and then we begin to take some of these sporting disciplines as seriously as we need to take.
Now, Vice Chairman of the MTN FA Cup Committee, Kofi Poku, has left his options open regards the team likely to win the final on later today when Ashanti Gold Soccer Club hosts Premier League champions Hearts of Oak at Accra Sports Stadium.
Watching both teams, you could see that each of them wants to win this competition, okay? Because after watching Hearts of Oak, okay, before then I had watched Gophers play, and it won't be an easy game. There are a couple of guys from both teams that could spring surprise anytime. So I'm sure it's going to be exciting, but definitely the best team would carry the day. They are the best too, because once they've been able to qualify to that stage, it means that they are the best, So it will be a good game, and I think both teams are doing very well. They did very well in the league, and then they did same in the FA Cup. So for now, they are the best.
The FA Cup finals is slated for Sunday tomorrow. Now to other story, Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers says all focus is on reaching full fitness ahead of the start of the new season. Rodgers, whose side won the English FA Cup following their 1-0 win over Chelsea, will face Manchester City in the English Community Shield at Wembley later today.
I think it's a fantastic game for us. We're glad we're there. It means we've won the FA Cup and we're playing against a very, very good side. I think when you start pre-season, your main goal is to be as close to fitness for your first game of the season. So that doesn't really change. But it's a wonderful occasion. Wembley, full house, and with the chance to hold something at the end of it is still always important. Obviously, we play every game to want to win, and obviously going to Wembley in front of over 90,000, it's certainly something that we would like to do. But it should be a great occasion, fantastic team and that we're playing against, and again, both teams will be searching towards that last game before the season begins for real.
That'll be all for sports. We now entertainment. So our first entertainment story, veteran Ghanaian actor Kofi Adjololo has seconded suggestions by filmmaker Peter Sedufia that winning awards should come with monetary benefits. The actor believes most people seem to think that winning awards comes with a lot of money. He spoke exclusively to Metro News.
I think I've also come out with that statement, though unofficially, but when I'm with my friends, and apparently people think that when you take an award, they give you plenty of money, which is not so. It's never, I've not seen that one before. But if Peter Sedufia is saying that awards must come with some monetary advancements or whatever, well, I think it may be right, because considering our financial position as actors and actresses and the other crew members and things like that, I think it will be good. It will be good for us to be pushed. The awards that I've had, the many awards that I've had, never come with monetary donation or whatever. I remember one award that we did by HRH Oscar. He actually came out and I came out as the best statemanly dressed gentleman, and I won 1,000 euros. Yeah. I think that's the only time that but it was not for the award. It was just personality coming out statemanly dressed, and then they gave me the award.
Up next is international news. Ethiopia has warned it could deploy its entire defensive capability against rebels from the northern Tigray region after their recent advances. Took control of the town of Lebalba in UNESCO. That'll be all for Newsbeat here on Metro TV. My name is Ethel Hoplampo. Have a good afternoon.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Second of every day, news is breaking all around us. From the tragic to the triumphant, from the dead serious to the derisiously funny. There's more news than we can keep up with. Metro TV is committed to bringing you only the news that matters. We go wherever the story takes us, from the voiceless to the headlines. My name is Bridget Otu. Join me here on Newsnight on Metro TV.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
When you think excitement, talk excitement, act out of excitement, then you are bound to become an excited person. Thank God it's Friday, so you're expected to be an excited person. Welcome to Friday's edition of Playlist, Freestyle Funky Friday. I'm your host, Anayata Nobache. Get ready and make sure you stay with me. So cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet when you wipe your nose or you blow your nose. Keeping that dirty handkerchief in your bag or your pocket is unhygienic. Get Flora disposable handkerchief. It's very absorbent and it's made to fit in your bag or your pockets. Also look out for Floral toilet roll, Floral multi-purpose soap, paper towel, Floral napkins and box tissue near you. Floral is produced here in Ghana by Delta Paper Mill. To contact them, you have to call 024 30 33 033 on 024 30 33 044. From now till 4 p.m., I'm here to bring you the cocktail, the blend of all sort of music, refreshing music, danceable music, and also an interesting conversation I'll be having with a gentleman I've been hoping to have, and finally, he's here. My guest today is the intelligent mind behind major video productions in Ghana, especially any video or music video that comes from Links Entertainment. He's a clever mind, the masterpiece behind that music video. Director Rex with the red X. I wanted to say that here. Director X with the red X is my guest today, and we'll be having a conversation about music videos, how he got into it, because I know he didn't study cinematography right away. He did something else, but then he'll be joining me very, very soon for us to have a conversation. You watching at home can be part of the show, so text me on 055-0089-737. So sit back, relax, and enjoy all the songs I have for you on today's playlist. My first song is coming from Anna Marie and Little Miss, and it is
Got my stuff, I'm at the door. Now I'm the one you're begging for. Don't know what you got until it's gone.